Ladies and gentlemen, if everybody could be seated, we're going to go ahead and start with our program. I'd like to welcome everybody to our August Chamber Luncheon. Very excited to have Eastern Kentucky University Dr. David McFaddin with us today as our guest speaker. We've got a great presentation. First and foremost, if I could ask from Denham Street Baptist Church, Pastor Josh McClendon to please come forward and bless today's meal. Pastor McClendon and Pastor McClendon's boss is going to come up here.
All right, it is an honor to be here today. I ask you to bow your heads and pray with me. Father, we love you. God, we thank you for the day you've given us. God, we thank you for an opportunity just to come together, Lord. And God, we pray that as we assemble now, that God, you bless the food that's been made and prepared. God, I pray you bless our bodies to your service, Lord. I thank you for this community, God, and all that's represented here today. Lord, I pray your blessings upon each and every business, Lord, that's represented. Lord, I pray, God, that we'd all be honoring and glorifying to you and lifting up your name. Thank you for Jesus. Thank you for the blood that was shed on Calvary for the remission of our sins, God. God, Father, I pray today that if there's any here that's lost and undone, Lord, I pray you put a little draw in their heart to bring them unto you, because that's what it's all about, God. Without you, we've got nothing. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. I want to recognize all of our information tables that are here today. I know a lot of you have heard this from me before. This is a free service we provide for our chamber members. We take those on a first-come, first-served basis. When the room's full, it's full, but we love to have these businesses and organizations come out so you can interact and mingle with them and learn about what's going on in their worlds. And I'd like to recognize all those that are here today. Citizens National Bank, the Center for Rural Development, the Alzheimer's Association, American Heart Association, Bailey Kate Boutique, Campbellsville University, Connect Community Village, Cumberland Falls Resort State Park, Eastern Kentucky University, Fork Insurance, Heads Up Digital TV, Jazzy J's Boutique, Kentucky South Central Pools, the Kentucky Wild Ones, Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, Morrow Art Studio, Slim Chickens, Southern Wash, LLC, WTLO Somerset 106 Radio, Zilla Meals, first time here for Zilla. What's up, guys? That's our neighbor downtown. The Chalet, one of our newest restaurants here in town. App Harvest, the Office of Vocational Rehab, and Lake Cumberland Recovery. Can we give these businesses a big round of applause? I'll put in a little plug for Farah over here, too. She's selling T-shirts. All the proceeds are going to go to flood relief in Eastern Kentucky. So if anybody would be so inclined to buy a really nice-looking T-shirt, you know, that money's going to go to a really good cause. I think she's only got a few left, and hopefully we can sell those today before she leaves. A couple of items before we turn the program over. Save the date, Thursday, August 25th, we're going to be hosting an Eggs and Issues breakfast with Congressman Hal Rogers. It's going to be downtown at the Citizens National Bank Lake Cumberland Farmers Market. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Congressman Rogers is going to get up bright and early with us. We're going to have breakfast and talk about what's going on in Washington, D.C. So, again, that starts at 8:30 a.m., August 25th. Totally free, no charge if you're a chamber member. So we'll have more information that we're going to be sending out about this, but put that one on your calendars. If you're an early riser like myself, should be good. We don't do a lot of breakfast, but this should be a great one with Congressman Rogers. Also, we've got a special birthday today. I don't always do a lot of birthday shout-outs, but when they happen to work 3 doors down from you, you kind of need to do that. So everybody here knows Bill Marshall. I think a lot of people, when you talk to our new members, they actually think Bill Marshall's the director of the chamber because he's the first person that a lot of them talk to. Bill is a steady hand on the wheel and has been for about 6 years now with us, and we couldn't do and have the success with our growth and retention that we have at the chamber without Bill. So if we could all just give a big round of applause and wish Bill Marshall a big happy birthday today. Final thing we're going to do is we actually have an award that we're going to be handing out today to one of our legislators, and I've got some information here I'd like to read and recognize Representative Josh Bray. The Partnership for Common Sense Justice is a coalition of job creators, healthcare providers, small business owners, and taxpayers concerned about Kentucky's liability climate. According to the U.S. Chamber Institute for Legal Reform, lawsuit costs equal 2.3% of Kentucky's GDP, and a lack of liability reform in Kentucky equals tort costs of $2,600 per Kentucky household. That cost makes Kentucky's liability climate among the worst in the country. There are those in Kentucky who want to tackle this issue. That is why the Partnership for Common Sense Justice recently announced that it is recognizing several state legislators for going above and beyond in Frankfort to better Kentucky's legal liability climate. That includes Pulaski County's newest state representative, Josh Bray. This last legislative session, Representative Bray filed House Bill 455 to lay the groundwork to reform Kentucky's unfriendly liability climate. This is the first time in recent history such legislation has been filed in the House of Representatives. The bill would have gone a long way in improving Kentucky's business and health climate, and Representative Bray's willingness to lead on the issue is why he is being named the 2022 Partner for Commonwealth Justice. For those of you who don't know Representative Bray, he was first elected in 2020. He lives in Mount Vernon with his wife Jana and 2 young children. He serves on the Health and Family Services, Economic Development and Workforce Investment, and local government committees. Following redistricting, he picked up parts of Pulaski County and is eager to work with our community. That is why we are pleased to present him with this award from the Partnership for Common Sense Justice. Please come forward. Big round of applause for Representative Bray. Thank you, Travis, and thank you, Representative Bray, for being here. Congratulations on the award. At this time, I think I'll go ahead and turn the program over to my boss. She's starting to get her sea legs under. We're into the last quarter here of the year. She's doing great. She just had a wonderfully successful Master Musicians Festival. How many people went to Master Musicians Festival this year? It was fantastic. Tiffany did a wonderful job quarterbacking that project, and as Chamber President, we're glad to have her back. She was a little preoccupied there for a while. So without further ado, I'm going to have my boss, Tiffany Finley, come forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before we get started, I did want to bring to your attention that the Master Musicians Festival is giving away a huge raffle in just a couple of weeks. We are going to send 2 people on a trip of a lifetime out to see Tyler Childers at Red Rocks in Colorado. We are going to pay for your 2 tickets for each night, your air fare, and your hotel room, and your shuttle passes. These tickets are only $20, and I have them up here with me today if you want to stop by afterwards and grab one, or you can buy them online on our website. And this all goes back into the festival. Thank you. I want to welcome our guests and our public officials and their reps and our members. Our chamber is only as strong as it is because of our world-class, our Chairman Circle and Ambassador Circle sponsors. So let's give them a big round of applause. We do have a new Ambassador Circle sponsor today, Conor Logistics. Are they here today? No? Well, let's still give them a hand for their contribution. We want to thank the Center for Rural Development for hosting us, Karen's Catering and Event Planning for providing our lovely meal today, Coca-Cola Bottling and Pepsi-Cola Bottling for our beverages. So I want to go ahead and thank them as well. And now to introduce our new members is our VP, Sean Daughery.
Okay, it looks like we have about 11 new members this month. Thank you, Bill, for all your work out there dragging in the new members. The new members do make our chamber what it is and strengthen our chamber, so we're so appreciative to have you. And if you will, please stand to be recognized when I call your name. Bluegrass Hearing Clinic, Sherry Latter. Bolton Painting, Zach Bolton. Meredith Fry Photography, Meredith Fry. Ready Jet Go Travels, Chelsea Binker. Solid Ground Coffee Shop, Aaron Longmire. Stephen Wayne's Detail Shop, Steve Washington. And last but not least, Vantage Point Financial Planning, Justin Wilson.
Thank you, Sean. The Chamber is very thankful for our ambassador. If you're an ambassador and you're here today, please stand so you can be recognized. And this month's Ambassador of the Month, I don't think she's in attendance today, but it's Crystal Cox from United Way of South Central Kentucky. Okay, we have two corporate sponsors today, Citizens National Bank and the Center for Rural Development. So at this time, I'm going to ask Sean to come back up and speak on behalf of Citizens National Bank.
Okay, on behalf of Citizens National Bank, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Chamber for the opportunity to sponsor today's luncheon. Our bank, we're always looking for ways to support our community and facilitate growth in our community. So if you know some way we can help, certainly talk to one of us. We have a table of our staff here today. We did have to leave some folks back at the bank to run the bank, but we have a good representation of our staff here today. Speaking of growth, you know, recently we celebrated our 100 years being in business, but we didn't stop there. I'm happy to announce we are 102 as of right now. So we're still growing. Right now we're about a $615 million bank, which the last few years have been very good for us as bankers. Of course, you know, with interest rates going up, that does change things. Most of you probably feel like us as bankers like rates going up, but really when rates go up, especially as aggressively as they have, it's actually not real good for us either. So we're working every day trying to manage our balance sheet and keep things in check so we can continue to be a strong bank in this community. And now I have to share my time because the center's got to talk a little bit today. So I'll just quickly highlight one product that we offer that we feel like is a way that we can help our community, and then I'll have Lonnie to come on up. We have a Moolah savings account, and if you've not heard of it, I'd like to tell you just real quickly, your child or your grandchild, you can open them an account at our bank, and it helps teach them to save, but it also helps them understand the importance of education. So what we do on that Moolah account is for every A that your child makes, when they bring in their report card, we'll put $1 in their account. So if they have 4 subjects and they have 4 A's, we put $4 in their account. And of course, that's each time that they get a report card. So we feel proud about that and what we can do, and we think that's a unique program that we have in this community. So I would encourage you, if your child or grandchild has not got a Moolah account, see one of us or stop by one of our branches here in town. Of course, you know, we've got 7 in-town branches, and we have 3 branches, one in Wayne County, one in Russell County, and one in Jessamine County. We'll say one last thing as a bonus. We just recently added a high-tech ATM down in McCrae County, so our customers down there now have the opportunity to make deposits, make withdrawals, loan payments, and things of that nature from that new ATM. So we're excited for that and the added convenience for our customers down there. Thank you very much. Lonnie?
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Bobby and Tiffany and the Chamber for allowing the Center to be here today to talk about some of the things that we do. I would dare say that some of you know a few of the things that we do, but probably not many of you know all of the things that the Center's involved in. It is great to have my good friend, Dr. David Mcfadden here. David and I have been friends for a long time. David, glad to have you here and looking forward to your comments here very, very shortly. Well, I'll talk about some of our relationships in my comments. Imagine that. So we do have a long-standing partnership with EKU, and you will hear more about that. The Center's now been open for 26 years. I don't know where those years have gone. I've been here 25 of them, and boy, it's been a blink of an eye. So now that we've kind of got our legs under us and we've grown up a little bit, my board and Congressman Rogers is working with staff to try to figure out where we go for the next 15, 20, 25 years. So stay tuned for that one. We are working on that one. The primary service territory of the Center for Rural Development is 45 counties. We go from Campbellsville to Pikeville. So that's a huge territory, and all of the destruction that you've seen this week, that's in our service territory. Most of the folks that are here have been here for an event here, or you've been in a theater. You know some of those things, but how much do you know about what the Center has been involved in high-speed broadband? We were the catalyst behind getting broadband. I took the idea to Congressman Rogers and my board. I wanted dark fiber in East Kentucky for all of those unserved and underserved areas. And then it became a statewide initiative, and the Center was at the forefront of all of that effort. And if one thing that the pandemic did, it showed the desperate, desperate need for high-speed broadband throughout not just our counties, but throughout the entire state, throughout the entire country. So we've been involved in that really, really heavily. Richard Taylor on my staff kind of leads that effort, and we're now looking at how we can build on that statewide middle mile network that is in every single county in Kentucky. We want to expand that middle mile footprint, and then we want to get into those hills and hollows where it is desperately, desperately needed. We've got to have it for the students. We've got to have it for the workforce that are there's still a lot of workforce that are working from home, so they've got to have access to that CenterNet. Also, we just finished another very successful summer of youth programs. Reached right at 300 students again this summer. Our Rogers Scholars Program is our flagship program. Over the last 25 years, we've graduated over 1,500 students from that program. All of those graduates of those programs qualify for scholarships from 19 colleges and universities, so it's a great, great benefit. We also had at EKU, one of our Explorers camp. We actually have 6 of the Rogers Explorers camps on campuses throughout the eastern part of the state. So EKU is the host of one of those. And EKU also offers a scholarship to our winning team in our entrepreneurial leadership program. Some of you are familiar with that. Some of you have actually been judges in that program, or you've been presenters in that program. But it's a really good program, and EKU offers a 4-year scholarship to the winning team of that program. How many of you know about the RDPC program, the Rural Domestic Preparedness Consortium program, where we train emergency responders in all 50 states, 5 U.S. territories. Since 2005, we've trained over 115,000 emergency responders, and this is taking that training into those local communities. They don't have to travel to a remote location. We actually take the training to them at no cost, and it's saved lives. It's saved countless lives. One of the courses that we have through Eastern Kentucky University is recovery from natural disasters, and boy, do we ever have a natural disaster in East Kentucky right now. So our limits are going to be tested, and if you don't mind, I'm going to veer away from the center just for a minute. I'm going to talk about East Kentucky because we're all Kentuckians. I mean, what has happened there is just absolutely devastating. I look at the photos online. I haven't been over yet. We hope to go over later this week. But the devastation is just horrendous. Saw some of the pictures of schools yesterday that are not going to be able to open because part of the school is washed away. So now you got to adjust all of those schedules. And we're going to be a drop-off point. We're going to be taking donations. What we don't want to happen, and we're trying to make sure doesn't happen, I know Kentucky Wildlands is a drop-off point here as well. But what happened in West Kentucky is we loaded up tractor and trailers of stuff and took it and dropped it, and they didn't have anywhere to put it. They didn't know what to do with it, and a lot of it didn't get utilized, quite honestly. So we want to make sure that the boots on the ground are making the calls of where we take items, what we take. You know, some of the things that we're looking at are obviously cleaning supplies, square-pointed shovels, brooms, mops, all of those type things that will get the cleanup. And we're working with a lot of folks throughout. Congressman Rogers was over there yesterday looking to see where the greatest need is, but we'll stay in tune for that. We'll also take gift cards. We'll take cash through PayPal. So if you have an interest in partnering with us on that, we're going to try to make a trip at least once a week, once we figure out where the greatest need is. But we're all Kentuckians. Let's stand together. Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Thank you, Lonnie and Sean. Appreciate that. Now, on to our guest speaker. Dr. David McFaddin is the 14th president of Eastern Kentucky University. He was selected as the interim president in December 2019 and was unanimously appointed president by the Board of Regents in August of 2020. Dr. McFaddin became the third Eastern graduate to ascend to the presidency. In his role as interim president, Dr. McFaddin led the university during a global pandemic. Facing unprecedented challenges, he overcame unexpected budget expenses, implemented a successful plan for a return to on-campus instruction, and established the Eastern Advantage, a plan to address college access and affordability. Before joining EKU, David held regional and statewide leadership posts with AT&T for nearly 15 years. His tenure there included major legislative, regulatory, and strategic initiatives that paved the way for billions of dollars of capital investments in Kentucky. A native Kentuckian, David holds a doctorate in educational leadership and policy studies from EKU. He also holds a master's degree in business administration from the distinguished Gatton College of Business and Economics at the University of Kentucky and a BA summa cum laude from EKU with a major in public relations. He is a first-generation college graduate and advocates for others who are the first in their families to graduate from college. David is married to the former Melissa Dye and is the father of 3 children, Isabel, Sophia, and Connor. Please give a big welcome for Dr. David McFaddin.
Well, good afternoon. I'm going to try to practice the 3 B's of public speaking. Be bold, be brief, and be seated. So the mayor says we've got an event at City Hall here in a few minutes, so we're going to try to have a chance to give a little update on EKU. Before we do, I'm a native of Johnson County. My mother is from Pike County. She is from the Elkhorn City area. She is a McCoy, so there's a lot of those over there. But I will say, echoing Lonnie's comments, our friends and neighbors and family in Eastern Kentucky are suffering right now. And when one of us suffer, we all suffer. And so I would ask that this community, as with others, will lift those folks up in prayer, and that we would get to work in helping them. But in the same way, we try not to create an emergency inside of an emergency. So Eastern Kentucky University will be providing a number of resources. We're going to be a community coordinator amongst the universities, amongst many of our partners to try to support the region. I will say this, if you know anybody, we're trying to get that message out. We've contacted all of our students, anyone affected, current students, prospective students who have been impacted. We've opened up the dorms, we've opened up the dining hall, so we're taking students in, and we've already had 3 students move in who lost everything, and so it is very impactful. I want to say that doing this work is truly an honor and a privilege. Being a first-generation college student who came to Eastern Kentucky University in the mid-'90s. Now, Sean did not tell you. He, too, is an EKU grad. I won't tell any stories on him. You'll have to ask him what his experience was like in Richmond in the mid-'90s. But EKU is a great place. And, it is a great place because of great people. And I've got some outstanding folks with me today. Amy Scarborough is joining me today. Amy is our new Chief Government Relations, Community Relations Officer. I stole her away from AT&T after I started my career with her over 20 years ago in doing that work, and so excited to have her. Terry Gray and Trent Poole, and we've got so many folks here with us today who support the EKU mission. Dr. Kevin Hubb just came on with us. I don't know if you know Kevin. He's a former superintendent, is our executive in residence for education, and I'll talk a little bit about our mission of serving our education community as we move forward. I'd also be remiss if I didn't recognize Dr. Castle, Somerset Community College. What a great partner, what a great leader. We've done some great things together as we are launching an associate's degree in nursing at our Manchester campus as they're providing the instruction and we're providing the support in the facilities. But if we're going to make a difference in our communities, we've got to do it as partners, and that is one of the challenges that we have. To be leaders is to work together in partnership with a capital P. Lonnie said it, the Center for Rural Development, Lonnie Lawson has been a longtime friend and a longtime partner, and we're very thankful for the work that the center has done to continue to support the region that we love. And, we talk about Eastern Kentucky University, and they say those 22 counties. I said, listen, if you're an Eastern Kentuckian, yours ours. And listen, we've got Eastern Kentuckians in Paducah. So we do our best to serve the entire Commonwealth. I'm very proud of that. And I guess finally, to Bobby Clue, he made beards cool before beards were cool, and I joined the club, so we've been doing this together a while, but very thankful to Bobby. And I want to say this about this chamber and this community. You do this as well as anyone. Your engagement by your business community, your ambassadors, the turnout and the commitment of your business community to support the initiatives in Somerset-Pulaski County, South Central Kentucky, second to none, and you should take a lot of pride in that. And so to the businesses who invest, to the ambassadors who volunteer, to those who serve on the board, I want to say congratulations to you, because it makes a difference in your community, and there are many communities who envy that. So I think you should give yourself a round of applause for that. How about that? Finally, I would say to, one of my greatest friends who dug out his EKU shirt. I'm glad you got that, Chris, from your time at EKU. One of our most distinguished alumni, Chris Gerdler, who has been a great friend and extended a warm welcome to me and my cabinet last year as we are putting together what I consider to be a world-class team of leaders at EKU to serve our region. We said, where do we want to go? Well, we came to Somerset for our cabinet retreat last year, and so we had a chance to spend time with Mayor Keck and with many of the leaders here in the community. Chris was very gracious to lead that in the work that he's doing with SPEDA and how you're leveraging economic development with education, with industry, with our government leaders to make a difference is impactful. And so I consider Chris a great friend, an outstanding alumni, and a great advocate for helping move our region forward. So Chris, thank you for that. We really appreciate it. We talk about Eastern Kentucky University. We just launched a new strategic plan, and we call it Expect Excellence. And I will say this, as a native Eastern Kentuckian, a first-generation college student, I will say that sometimes we don't think about excellence in Eastern Kentucky. And that's something that I want to change. I want to change the thought about that. I want to change the thought about our people. I want to change the thought about our region. I want to change the thought about our institution that serves that region. And that is, we don't accept anything less than the best. We've got some of the greatest people, some of the greatest leaders. I think about Congressman Rogers. He's the only congressman that I've ever had as a native son of the 5th. And, you know, we're in Madison now in the 6th, but Congressman Rogers will always be my congressman in that way. And the work that he has done to support Eastern Kentucky and to see that transformation of that region over my lifetime has been something that has been very impactful. Bobby, I'm not going here. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Maybe it's over here. Here we go. So talk a little bit about our institutional profile and talking a little about Eastern Kentucky University. Founded in 1874. We've been around for a while. There's another university that has the Colonels as part of their mascot, and that's Center College. So we were actually together back in the beginning. We split off. Central University split off, and that's where Eastern Kentucky University and Center College came to be. We've got about a $380 million budget as a 4-year comprehensive institution offering everything from associate's degrees to doctoral degrees. We're known for, you know, a handful of things that we really take a lot of pride in. Obviously, education is something that we're very proud of, but nursing, occupational therapy, aviation, our psychology, mental health. We have a doctorate in psychology for practitioners who are psychiatric practitioners, psychology practitioners out there. As we think about, you know, our student profile and our faculty profile, we've got a 15-to-1 ratio. So for those students who are graduating from Somerset or Pulaski County, you're going to come to our university and largely find that experience is as intimate, if not more intimate, than what you've seen in a high school setting. And we feel like that's really important. And I will say this, in the bio, it talked about getting through this pandemic, leading through this pandemic, and getting back to being fully on campus. That was important for us. We were open in the fall of 2020. It was different than we'd seen before. If you came on that campus in the fall of 2020, it didn't feel like a college campus. There were students there that were going to class, but between the masks and the social distancing and the things we've gone through, it was different. But I will tell you that in going through that, we had a commitment to say, it's not getting back to normal, it's defining the next normal. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in just a minute. Looking at our student profile, we have very high-achieving students who are choosing our institution. And those students are coming from right here in this service region. We still serve more Kentuckians per capita than any other public university in the state. We put more of those Kentuckians back to work in Kentucky communities upon graduation than anybody else. We take a lot of pride in being number one in serving more Kentuckians and putting those Kentuckians back to work in Kentucky communities. When we look at our graduation rates and the increases we've seen there, a focus on academic excellence is absolutely something that we're focused on. It used to be when you went to college, they'd say, hey, look, you know, we're going to have student convocation next week. And somebody would stand up and say, you know, look to your left, look to your right. You know, one of these two people are not going to be there at graduation day. Well, we have changed that mantra entirely. The idea is you look to your left and you look to your right and you hold arms and you say, how do we all get to the finish line? Because the expectation when you start at EKU is that you finish at EKU. And I will tell you that life throws you a lot of hurdles. We've got 40% of our student body still the first in their family to go to college. Almost 60% of our student body are either a first-gen or a low-income student, meaning they have an ETF rating of 0. So they are going to need full Pell support. Nearly 51% of our students qualify for Pell assistance. And so when you think about that, access and affordability of a college degree is absolutely imperative to the work that we do every day. Talking a little bit about our focus on students, you can see, we've just got one screen over here. You can see here the impact that we've had in kind of making progress with our student success here, seeing how we've grown our student body. I will tell you that here in just a week or so, we are going to welcome one of our largest freshman classes that we've seen in the last 20 years. We are looking at right at 2,800 new freshmen coming to Eastern Kentucky University. We're looking at our overall enrollment being up for the first time in the last 6 years and really starting to kind of dig our way out of the impact of this pandemic. The really exciting part is I'm running at about 104% of occupancy of dorms. So we are making sure that everybody's going to have a place, a bed to be in, but the residential experience is going to be very alive and well on our campus. And I think we're seeing that for our residential colleges and universities kind of across the board. A little impact on, talking about Pulaski County, Somerset. I want you to know this. This community is very important to me. This community is very important to our institution. Quick show of hands. How many EKU alums we got out here in the audience? Yeah, there's a lot of colonels out here in this community. I won't ask about hilltoppers because we're going to try to kind of push that out a little bit. A joke. Tim Caboni and I are good friends. I feel like this community is a battleground between Eastern and Western as you see the Western creep into here. But we want to be your university. We want to be your university, yes, for a residential college experience. We want to be your university for workforce solutions. I don't think many people know we're the only OSHA center in Kentucky. If you need a 10-hour, 30-hour OSHA card, our university does that. You need first-line manager training, we do that. You need conflict resolution in the workplace, we do that. It is probably the best-kept secret that we have. We got to do a better job of talking about some of our workforce solutions and working with our partner chambers and economic development associations to talk about that. Talking about kind of excellence in what we do to have an inclusive community on our campus, we were ranked number 1 for our DEI outcomes, and really when we talk about that, that is saying that, all those who identify, including our veteran community, as part of making sure that they have an inclusive community is important for us. We were voted number 1 for military families. We are ranked number 3 in the nation for best for vets. We have over 1,500. Go ahead. Thank you. We have almost 1,600 now veterans and veteran family members as a part of the EKU community. That is the largest population of any Kentucky community, and honestly one of the biggest across the nation. From California to New York to Florida to Texas, those who are serving our country are choosing EKU either on campus or online. We've got a number of active, those who are in active duty, who are taking classes with us. And so we've got an outstanding team who work with our veteran community. And that is something that is very near and dear to me. It's something we're very proud of and something that we're going to continue to do in serving that population. You'll see that we awarded about $90 million in financial aid to students last year. Talking on the way down today, we were talking a little bit about what's the sticker price versus the actual cost. And I want you to know this. Keeping a college degree affordable, I think, is not just front of mind for me, but I really think for all of our public institutions, community colleges, universities. We're trying our level best to make sure that if someone wants to pursue a degree, that we can support them in doing it. And so whether it's our amazing legislature and Representative Bray and Senator Gerdler, who supported really record levels of investment in higher education for this year, whether it's our donors who are stepping up and funding scholarships and supporting the scholarships of our students, or us prioritizing the fact that we're going to dedicate over $40 million a year in institutional funds to underwrite the education of students, we are doing everything we can to keep a college degree affordable. And so while you see those sticker prices out there that may seem a little shocking, if you'll sit down with us and have a chance to talk about it, we still are keeping a college degree very affordable at Eastern Kentucky University. And if you've got someone out there who's looking for, who thinks they want to go to college but don't know how to pay for it, please make sure you're reaching out to us, because we will work with you and we will find a way. I promise you that we will find a way. And again, as I said earlier, still today, 40% of our student body are the first in their family to go to college. It raises kind of the hair on the back of my neck at graduation when we take a moment and we have all of those first gens stand up and be recognized. And you think about not just the transformational impact in their life, but what that's going to do for their children, their children's children, and the children after that. And that generational impact is going to is going to give them economic mobility. It's going to give them economic opportunity, and it's going to help them be, hopefully, a more engaged citizen in our community. Talk a little bit about excellence in action at EKU. We talk about best bang for our buck. Affordability is something that's front of mind for us, and it's something that we take very seriously. We look at our national rankings and regional rankings. Everybody kind of gets wrapped up in those. But to me, I want to hear that individual student testimony. That's, to me, when we're making that difference. When somebody says, you're making a difference in my life. And that text message that I got from a student who on the day after we had this horrific flooding, when she got a note that says, hey, If you've lost anything, if you need anything, if you want, we will come pick you up and bring you to campus. And you get a note that says, hey, not everybody does this. Not everybody cares this much. That's what we're supposed to be doing in our communities. One of the things that we focused on, and I've looked at this slide deck a couple of times, but we launched a program called BookSmart. Anybody heard of BookSmart at Eastern Kentucky University? Well, I got a couple out here. Well, I'm going to tell you what, we got a little work to do to talk about BookSmart because we are the only university in Kentucky. We are only one of a handful in the nation where for undergraduate, full-time students, textbooks are free. And somebody would say, what's the gimmick? What's the hook? Well, the hook is this. I remember being a first-gen student coming here, not knowing exactly how this was going to be. I remember the look on my mother's face when she wrote a check in the bookstore when I was taking 18 hours my first semester. And I knew that look. That look was, I've got to get home before this check gets to the bank because, maybe they don't have that great account that you guys got over there at Citizens National. But she was, it was just one of those things that, how am I going to pay for it? Because that's just that expense that hits you on day one that you weren't planning on. And when we look at the average cost of textbooks for students who are majoring in STEM, we're talking about not $200, $300, $400. We're talking about $1,200, $1,600, $1,800 for textbooks. You don't want to know what an anatomy textbook costs. You don't want to know what a microbiology textbook costs. And those costs were something that we're having our students choose between putting food on the table or putting gas in their car or paying their rent. And to me, I want to say that 100% of our undergraduate students at EKU are getting some support from us. So we're going to pay for the books, which means you bring the ambition, you bring the hard work. On day one, you're going to have all the tools that you need to be successful. And that's something that we take a lot of pride in and we got to talk a little more about because I do think it is a big distinguisher for us at Eastern Kentucky University. When we look at last year, we were the only public four-year institution to show an increase in our new student population. We rebounded quickly. And there's a few things about that we think really kind of tied to what we were doing. 2021 was our largest fundraising year ever. For those who are alums out there, those who have given, thank you. The largest fund and the most activity that we saw over the last couple of years was our SAFE fund, and that's our Student Assistance Fund for Eastern. And those funds have gone to directly support students during the pandemic, supporting what they're doing, and over the last 24 hours, the most active fund to make sure that we are supporting students who have been impacted by this flooding. And so while we are doing things for those who are students at EKU, we're buying clothes, we're buying computers, we're buying, you name it, because people lost everything. But we also are going to encourage you to look to the state fund that's supporting. If you want to help those communities, we think that mustering those financial resources to one place is probably going to be the way to make the biggest difference that you can. Talking a little bit about academic excellence, that's what we do as an institution. The things that we're known for and the things that we have historically been known for. Aviation, we're the only four-year flight program in Kentucky. Was just talking to President Castle. We're looking at a little partnership here where maybe students could do their private pilots right here in Somerset, move on to EKU, get that multi-engine 1,000-hour rating. Next thing you know, they're going to be flying you from LEX to Atlanta because, you got to go to Atlanta no matter where you're going if you're flying out of Lexington. But very proud of that program. It's about 440 students now. We are buying every Cessna 172 that we can find. I joked with Dr. Castle, who's an aviator. None of the 172Rs. We don't want any retractable gear because inevitably they don't come down. And there's nothing like the third day on the job as the interim president that you get a phone call at 7 o'clock and they said, "Hey, Mr. President, wanted to give you an update. We have a student and a flight instructor in a Cessna 172R. The landing gear will not come down." And I said, okay, this was not in the briefing book for being a university president. So what do I do? They said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. We're just going to land it on its belly. No big deal." And I was like, okay, yeah, no big deal. We're just going to land this plane with no landing gear. I said, "So should I come out there?" She said, "Oh, no, don't come. If the media, we got to talk on the radio. If the media shows up, we don't want to put you in a situation." Well, I couldn't help. I had to go see what was going on. Listen, there were more emergency response vehicles on that for a little old one Cessna 170. There were lights everywhere. They landed that plane. There was not even a spark. It was but it is amazing. But it's an amazing program and one that we're very proud of, and one where students are leaving us and they are making six figures right out of the gate, flying for regional and national carriers across the nation. Nursing, obviously, big demand. Was talking to Bobby a little earlier. Right here in your own community, community, the nursing shortage is real. And that shortage has been exacerbated by the pandemic. But it had started slightly before that, and we had started to see kind of a softening of the interest. And yes, it pays well, but it's a high-demanding job. It's a high-stress job. And to all of our healthcare workers out there, to all of our first responders who are out there today, thank you for what you do. It is a hard job, and it is one that we are very, very much appreciative that you're willing to get up and do every day. But we continue to be strong in nursing, and we're trying to grow that pipeline of nurses across the state. Risk management and insurance, for all of those out there, our insurance companies, our RMI program ranked #1 by AM Best this past year, #1 in the nation for risk management insurance programs. We've got some outstanding graduates who are recruited nationally, globally, to go and work in the RMI space. Criminal justice continues to be a strong program for us. Our professional golf management, we're one of 16 PGM programs in the nation. And we've got partnerships with many of the PGA tours. Many of our students are doing internships and co-op placements at amazing golf courses, learning to be a part of that community. Homeland Security, and as Lonnie highlighted, this rural domestic partnership, preparedness partnership, listen, we don't know when the next disaster is going to hit. And we'd always like to say that we're prepared, but if we're not doing the work beforehand, it is very hard to get prepared in the moment. And so Homeland Security continues to be a strong program for us. But I will say the fastest growing program for us is our mental health services, our psychology, mental health clinician program. That is the crisis that we're dealing with on college campuses. I imagine that it may be the thing that you're seeing in your communities, but the exponential growth of need for mental health services to make sure that, we know that it's okay to not be okay, and that we've got resources and support services to surround students to talk about those things is absolutely important for us. And so as we look at the mental health of our communities, the mental health of our institution, that is front of mind for us. Global supply chain management, we have got another executive in residence, a guy by the name of Kirby Easterling, who worked for Corning. He worked out of their Asia footprint for a long time. He's an EKU alum. He's a Pike County native. Came back to EKU to be a part of what we're doing. But we are working with Amazon. We are working with UPS. When you look at Kentucky's economy and not what's next, but what is, supply chain and logistics is absolutely a part of what we do in this state. And we're really excited to have one of the few supply chain and logistics programs led by somebody who has done it and continues to do it every day. And then really proud of this. We'll be going up this year for our very first engineering program at EKU. We are taking to market a manufacturing and materials engineering program. So that means you finish that program, you can sit for the PE at EKU. We are going through ABET accreditation as that program launches. Lots of excitement from our manufacturing community about this. We've met with the folks at Blue Oval, SK Industries for the lithium battery plant. They're really excited about this because as they're looking for workforce and looking for that highly trained workforce that's going to be there, that this materials and manufacturing is a great fit for them. And so we're really excited about that. For those who know Eastern, and we have a long tradition of athletic success. The Roy Kidd era was an era of a lot of winning, and I give our athletic director a little bit. I said, listen, you saw that Roy Kidd Stadium packed with people hanging off, right, Sean? I mean, it was a good time. That was an era of us having a lot of success, and we're continuing to build on that on the other side of the pandemic. Really excited about our partnership, our new membership with the ASUN, the WAC challenge there. We've changed conferences, trying to better align our institution with where our alumni live. If we look at the footprint of this new conference that we're in and where our alumni live, it's a 90% match. When we look at where our alumni are at, they are largely not going, they're not in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. They're not in Martin, Tennessee, but they are in Nashville. They are in Louisville. They are in Atlanta, and yes, they are in Florida. We had a men's and women's basketball game in Florida this year. First time. I think we had more fans than the home team had in the fans, and so I was really, really excited to see that many alums who are down in Florida supporting EKU. But you can see here, we've been very successful there. I'll leave you with this, some strategic initiatives we're working on. Book Smart, talked about that. That is something we're very proud of. And I'll be honest, during the pandemic, we said we can either view this as a disruption and we can wait to see what happens, or we can say this is an accelerant. Let's see if we can get to the places we want to be faster. And we opted for the latter. We said, let's see if we can get to the places we want to be faster. And so providing that student support, providing those textbooks, making sure that when the race is started, everybody starts on the starting line at the same point, that was something that was really important for us. We also launched what is called the Exceptional Eastern Experience. And for those who went to EKU, and whether it was in the 70s or the 80s or the early 90s, there was an exceptional experience at Eastern Kentucky University. We had a great town and gown relationship, and a lot of folks who didn't even go to Eastern, who went to other institutions, would make their way to Richmond on a Thursday night to come and be a part of the college experience. We really knew coming out of the pandemic that there had been so much loss, whether it was a prom or whether it was a graduation or you name it, that there had really been this sense of isolation and this sense of this lack of community. And we said, we want to focus on the college experience. We want to make sure that when they get here, maybe we can make up for some of the things that were lost, but also to make sure that they are making memories that are going to last a lifetime. And it is important what our students learn in the classroom. It is important the internships and externships that they get placed in, but it is also important that they find themselves, that they leave our institution having a better understanding of who they want to be and have been formed by the experiences and the relationships over there. And so we've doubled down on that. For those who may not, I don't know, Chris, do you know who Waka Flocka is? So listen, the kids are all a rage. We got our welcome back here in a week. We've got an artist who's going to be performing. And this was a student pick, but last year we had T-Pain on campus. We're doing a lot of things there, but we're also doing lectureships. We're bringing in professionals to talk about industries. We're talking about a lot of those things, but really trying to provide those unique experiences for our students. And then the last one I'm really proud of, coming from a non-traditional background to become a university president, bring some unconventional, non-traditional ideas to the table. A completely untapped market for us was our corporate partnerships. Understanding that we needed a unique and boutique experience for those employers out there who needed to get their employees a badge, a credential, a certification, a degree. And we said, listen, it's got to be discounted. It's got to be something where it's high touch, meaning we're going to make it easy. We're going to come to your place and we're going to enroll your students. We're going to go through all that. You're going to get advising that is tailored just to your organization. And so we launched this about a year and a half ago, kind of a soft launch, really went after it hard this past year. We've got about 40 corporate partners, everything from the local coffee shop to Google. And so we're continuing to add those partners, continuing to look at our chamber partners to say, can it be an affinity benefit with our chamber partners, to say, what are the degrees that you need, in making sure that we're delivering on those. We've picked up about 200 new students through this partnership in the last year. It is continuing to grow, and we're continuing to build those new relationships, and would love to sit down and talk to you about that. And it doesn't have to be just bachelor's degrees. We do a lot of certificates, a lot of badges, a lot of credentialing in other disciplines that could perhaps help your business. Everything from workplace safety to workplace efficiency to how to deal, how to get your first line managers trained on how to have difficult conversations and mediation of those conversations. So trying to reverse engineer what we do, I will stand here and tell you, we may not know best what you need. So I would ask you, raise your hand. Let us know what are the things that you need, and we will do our best to kind of meet you where you're at. And with that, I will stop and entertain maybe any questions, Bobby, I don't know if that's part of the protocol here, but I really like the Q&A part of this job. So. Quiet group. Thank you all. We'll be around for a few minutes. Would love to connect with you. Thank you all very much. All right.
Thank you so much, Dr. McFadden. And on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, we want to present you with this certificate. It's called the Friend of the Chamber Award. And just know that you always have a friend in us.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That.
Thank you so much. So our next luncheon is Tuesday, actually it'll be September, first Tuesday in September, and it is the Marquis Cancer Center Medical Director, Dr. Timothy Mullett. And now if you'll get your blue tickets out, we'll give away the prizes. If you're not enthusiastic, we take the prize back, so get a little excited. First, from M&W Printing, we have, what you got? Oh, let me shake it up again then. From M&W Printing, we have a 20% off of M&W Printing. And the last 4 digits is 1087. Nobody? Okay. Try again. We have 1148. How does this happen? I know. Yeah. Oh, okay. In the back. Great. Next, from Buffalo Wings and Rings, we have a Buffalo Wings and Ring gift card for $25. And that is 1145. Oh, right here. Jonathan. Next, from Hardee's, we have a Hardee's gift card, $20. This is Hardee's South. And that is 1129. Okay, right in the back. Okay, from Brook Hills Park, Janice McFaddin is giving, I want to win this, $70 gift card to Taylor Massage Therapy. Okay, 1184. Yeah, there we go. Enjoy that massage. Thank you. It's the little things that make me happy, so. Next, from the Center for Rural Development, 20% off of rental space certificate. And that goes to 1096. Okay, right here. Thank you. You can move for her. Next, from Slim Chickens, $25 Slim Chicken gift card. Yep. 1054. All right. Got a couple more. From EKU, we have, let's see, 2 T-shirts? Okay, 2 T-shirts, mug, umbrella, all from EKU. So do I do 2 different ones? All together. Okay. 1074. All right, over here. I'm doing it last. And then Mario Art Studio, and I think he is here painting right now. So you get the piece of art that he painted today. And that goes to 1030. Okay, right here. And then we'll save the biggest for last. We have 4 from Citizens National Bank, 4 Keeneland Clubhouse passes for the fall meet. And that goes to 1135. Oh, all the way in the back. Yep, okay. And I was actually going to ask Senator Gerdler to do the pledge for me, so I'll just have, oh, there you go. I was going to put you on the spot and have you do the pledge, but since you're still here, if you'll come up, and then we'll adjourn. Thank you guys so much. Please rise. You can just stand right there.